Swiggity sorty, let's get that booty.
Alright, test 1, 2. Room tone now. Okay. What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the SlimCogcast. It's been a lot of heavy things going on this week, and I don't want to get too political because I want to keep this channel strictly about nerddom and gaming. But when things happen, we cannot ignore them, especially when they're very closely related to what this channel centralizes media production upon. So before we get into things, I want to reintroduce myself. Hello, my name is SlimCogcast, and you're damn right I'm black. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about before I get into everything is with a heavy heart, I have to acknowledge the fact that just a few days ago, we've lost one of the greatest actors to portray a hero. And not only that, and even off the set, a real life hero. We lost one of the greatest heroes that we could ever have for all people of color. I'm not going to say he was just for us, 'cause clearly he was just for us, but I'm pretty sure that he had enough love for others who felt like minorities, whether you were mixed or just downright different and oppressed because of such. Chadwick Boseman, or as I like to call him, the boss man, rest in power. Colon cancer, the very same thing that took my great grandmother from me. I really hold dear to my heroes, like many others out here, millions of others. And it fills me with joy to see so many people care, that he impact that many people in such a short amount of time. Compared to the human lifespan, he has touched so many people, children, adults, young and old. And not to mention, see, this is me overthinking and trying not to be too political, but of course, he's not my only hero, and he wasn't my hero just because of his skin tone, all right? My favorite hero has always been Batman, but it's something different when you are a kid in the 90s. The year 91 is when I was cursed to walk this earth, and since then, when it came to heroes, I'm pretty sure you've heard this story before. There weren't many for us to latch on to, especially in my age range. And I grew up raised by a couple of geeks. So, getting into comic books and animations and things like that was going to be natural, And once I was introduced to comics, when it came to X-Men and all these different ones, it hits different, okay? To see someone with your skin tone be considered a superhero. And by the time Static Shock came along, and John Stewart Green Lantern, it was an amazing time to be alive. Although by this time, I was in middle school as a preteen. I was around the age of 11 and 12 years old. So that means the first 10 years of my life, the only black hero that I could name off the top of my head was Storm from the X-Men. Couldn't really mention Bishop. I didn't know much about Bishop in my early ages because he wasn't shown as prominent as one would expect, But as time goes on, this is one of the reasons why I cannot, even though I am an advocate, I am completely against extremism of any form, but this is why there is a need for social justice. Because as I look on the TV or, the silver screen growing up, it was very different than it is now. We didn't have much to look up to. The fact that we had Static Shock. See, I came up in the South. So to hear Static Shock was a black superhero with his own show, and the intro music was Little Romeo. I mean, to be fair, Little Romeo was always lame to us down here. We didn't ever find him cool, but, it's what we had and we was going to take it. And the intro ain't that bad. So, yeah, it was dope. John Stewart, the Green Lantern, was one of the best written superheroes in all of my time of reading characters. Like he's like 1-to-1 as good of a written black hero as Miles Morales, because they did not identify him by his skin. They just made him a human with hang-ups, capabilities, talents, passion. He was dating like 3 women out of the Justice League. He had a background in the military, very stern, objective driven, but also slightly dyslexic. Had problems early on. They even had a full episode in the Justice League. The 2000, I think it was 2007 Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. He had his own episode where he would actually go back to his old neighborhood and people would treat him different, you know. I think it was all in his head at the time. I think it was just like a hallucination or some type of paranoia attack, or anxiety, you know, something that he worries about in the back of his mind. But people treated him differently because he went off and became a hero and changed, you know, or, you know, they feel like he changed because he was doing different things. And that's a real thing that Black people have to deal with that most others don't. Like, because of the solidarity of our color, we're all expected, not only from others outside of our race, but from one another within our race, to behave, act, and think a certain way, you know? When Black Panther was announced and on the cusp of being released, it was kind of surreal. Like for me, like I was expecting it, but then at the same time, I was like, okay, you know? Because even rather in Civil War was the moment that it cemented in my mind that they were actually doing this and they were trying their best to do it right. Like, once Civil War was realized and I saw it in front of me and I saw those fight scenes where he was putting the work on Bucky, a person who was beating Captain America left and right a mere few scenes ago and was the main thing advertised in all the commercials and like, that's the power scale. That's a correct power scale. Skill wise, Captain America and Black Panther are supposed to be equal. But in terms of raw capability in combat, there's a slight edge in Black Panther's favor. He is a badass. But the success of Black Panther's reveal and the success of his movie and its support came with a lot of new racism. Because the greater something is, the more haters it attracts. And lo and behold, the moment that people saw Black Panther beating up Bucky and able to go toe to toe with Captain America, let me calm down. These certain people got completely virile and toxic and just started spitting hate everywhere. And it immediately ran to them trying to, you know, let's say, thinly veiled racism under the guise of they're just pandering to the blacks when sadly they don't know their source material. So they go and spout this nonsense everywhere when really it's always been this way. The vibranium. Of course he can penetrate Captain America's shield. Of course he's as strong as Captain America. Of course he can go toe to toe with him. Of course he's just as intelligent and richer than Tony Stark. He was made that way, and it can't be stopped. It's nothing to be disappointed in humanity because it happens on a regular basis, especially thanks to the internet. Everybody has a voice. So even the ones that should not have one are much louder. But to see that, I tried my best to interpret it as there's a lot of kids out there, Caucasian or what have you, and their favorite, you know, whatever race, their favorite hero may have been Captain America, and that's fine. I understand that their pride is hurt a little bit. I tried to look at it that way. But after so long, I couldn't. I bumped into a person on PlayStation Network at one point. And initially, he was a cool kid, white. But over time, as I spoke to him, he seemed to be a pretty good movie buff. He was up on all his movies and things like that. We were getting along, recommending movies to one another, all that. But there was one thing that divided us. He couldn't hide his racism. He legitimately wanted to harp on the fact that Black Panther's overrated or it wasn't as good as people say it is, or, you know, just bringing up all these stupid points. He was saying he got beat up for the majority of his movie. People beat up on him for the majority of his movie. You know, things like that, you know, or they just made him overpowered with his suit. His suit just overpowered. And then, you know, it didn't hit me then. But about, say, 8 months later, I found a YouTube channel that had all of these same opinions. Literally, he borrowed all those opinions from that YouTube channel. And I say, wait a minute, all of these things are not facts. They're just half truths thrown together. Because I'm like, every single hero gets their ass kicked throughout their own movie, even their origin movie. Spider-Man gets beat on every single movie Batman, yes. Even Wolverine. Heck, Superman gets his ass beat in his movie. He gets stabbed with kryptonite and laying on the ground like a baby in Superman Returns. Hell, Captain America gets whooped on so much. You want to talk about overpowered when Black Panther puts on his suit? Son, as soon as they put that needle in Steve Rogers, all of a sudden it was like nothing could stop him. He was just invincible for no reason and was never beaten. The blatant racism disguised as faux intelligence was the most disgusting thing to me, because these are people who call themselves a part of the gaming, comic book, technology community, the geek community, but they're just pretenders. They don't know. They don't want to read. They don't want to watch. They would rather just spout something that they read or heard that's 80% chance to be just some troll bait content. As an adult, when I see a black actor portraying a superhero, there's a wave of emotion wishing that I had this at a younger age. Something to motivate me more when I was younger, you know? Something to at least drown out the thoughts of I have no chance because of my skin unless I am one of the luckiest of the lucky. If it's a very, very low percentage of a shot for anybody of a white skin tone, then what chances do I have? Type of thoughts. Like, in order to drown out those negative thoughts about your future, it helps so much to see a person of color doing the things that they are doing, you know? And once that movie came along, I don't want to say I fooled myself into believing, but I do think for moments I did believe that we were moving forward in society. Like, we were taking steps to become better. And all it took was just to plant the seed in a kid's mind to know and understand that it's normal to see black skin on a TV screen and be a badass and not a sidekick. The main reason that I just could not completely accept the idea of being a racist, I think I was about 6 years old on a hot Mississippi summer day. I walked into a Walmart with a little bit of change that my mother gave me just so I can get myself some ice water from the little restaurant in the Walmart. I went up there, asked the one behind the counter for the ice water. And the white guy said, well, you can't really cool down on this hot day like that with it. He was an older white guy. He had to be at least knocking on 70. But he said, that's not going to cool you down. That's not much of nothing. And he gave me, I don't remember how much, but he gave me at least like 5 or 6. And he said, here you go, son. Just get you a slush or something, all right? Enjoy yourself. And me being raised with my good manners, I said, thank you, sir. And you're welcome, son. And he went on about his day. Since then, the idea of racism, I had to learn racism all over again, like after that age. Because I was like, man, white people are not really that bad. But the racism that I had to learn after that age, living in Mississippi, coming from, I moved, let me see. Yeah, since kindergarten, I moved, once I got to kindergarten, I moved to Memphis, Tennessee. Came back from Tennessee at around the age of 10 when I started 4th grade. And I had to relearn racism when I came back down here to Mississippi, because I found out what it meant to other black people or black kids around me in Mississippi. Because the main thing that I'm always told, even to this day, from my black brothers and sisters, they always say, nah, Fred, the white people, they don't talk to us the way they talk to you. Or they don't get along with us the way they get along with you. You get along with them different. And I never know how to respond. Because what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say, well, that's your fault? You don't know how to level with them? Or, meet them halfway in communication? Do I say, well, they just don't understand us and you know how they are, and perpetuate even more racist hate and harbor disgust? Or do I just stay silent like I have been and let everything be up for interpretation and hope that they stumble upon the truth one day? Chad was a hero of mine, shining example. It's always the greatest ones, the one that shine the brightest. It's been hard being black in 2020. A lot of things have been going on. But I'm going to challenge myself to try to become the change that I want to see in the world. And that change starts with me, as in keep doing what I've been doing and trying to spread knowledge, positivity, educating, being transparent, and sharing who I am with the world with no fear. So I just want to say right here, right now, rest in power, Chadwick Boseman. My condolences to your family. It feels like I lost a family member. And hopefully, I don't know what the rest of this year has in store, but hopefully it gets better. I've lost one family member to COVID-19 as is. We don't need any more. There's people losing their family members in the streets while trying to protest. Yet there are people walking around with assault rifles as if there's nothing wrong. So, to pull things full circle, and the reason that the first 20 minutes of this podcast is about this is because this podcast would not exist without them. It wouldn't exist without all those who paved the way. I can firsthand tell you that most of my life motivations were because of John Stewart Green Lantern, Miles Morales, Static Shock, and everybody else in between. So yeah, it's one of those going where you're going, but trying not to forget where you coming from or where you came from type of deals, you know. That's why I carry a lot of my motifs with me, you know. Devil May Cry, Metal Gear, especially Gurren Lagann, bro. You know, these things define people, especially in the modern age. In the modern age where everything is literally, every single person is born to be a product of capitalism. So not much variety in each person's life aside chosen career or just day-to-day personal choices that they make in their own life. But still, it can boil down to literally the same motivation, just trying to live to another 24 hours or another month, depending on bills, you know? And everybody has the same objective, chase money, you know? So for each person to find something that motivates them or drives them and reminds them that they are different and it's all not monotonous, you have to attach yourself to something, you know? There's not enough variety because everybody, there's no need to be a hunter outside of sport because we have an easier streamlined means of getting food and nourishment. We have an easier streamlined way of getting clothing. You know, the actual art of sewing is literally dying out. People are becoming more homogenous by the day, right down to the ideals that they carry because we all want to like and share and read the same ideas. And it tells you that you're not that unique of a thinker, honestly, in my book, the way I look at it, you know, and that's what backfires for me. Sometimes I think so damn unique. Not a lot of people can really flock to my opinions. You know, they just respect it or it makes them think, you know, and I'm grateful for that, though, not to complain. That's a gift in itself, being able to think different. But to pull it back on topic, that's the need for heroes. It gives people a purpose, something to strive for, an idol, you know. Even people, young women who now are forced into being breadwinners and having a career because being a housewife these days is almost frowned upon because every woman is expected to have their own and get her own and be independent. You know, she would need someone to look up to as some type of hero that helps her believe that she can do that. She would need a Wonder Woman or Vixen or, you know, Zatanna, something. For every young boy out there who grew up without a father figure, he would need something to believe in. The reason why Gohan was my favorite character in Dragon Ball was because he defeated Cell and became more powerful than his father without him. He did it alone. Yes, he was pushed in a certain direction by Piccolo. It was his own strength, the strength that he did not know he had. That was amazing to me. These things drive people. They motivate people. And you'll never know which one of these kids will be the next great somebody that was driven and motivated by that hero. With that said, we're going to drill the usual things for the podcast after 5-second moment of silence. Okay. You see, I've been continuing The God of High School. I've watched the latest episode. It wasn't very action-packed. It was more of a plot dump and a little bit of, you know, wholesomeness here and there. I hear a lot of friends who read the webtoon manga, and they were very displeased at the way that they're storyboarding the anime, although I got high hopes, and it may be, you know, maybe they'll do some, you know, amazing things just to make sure. What I've noticed is that they just wanted to put a bunch of action and huge bombastic things early loaded in the anime so it can attract people. to the anime, even those who did not read the webtoon. So, which was very effective. And I do think that the manga readers should shut up and be thankful for that too. I humbly say that though, no disrespect, because I've been there, but also where I've been, it's been way worse than this. So at least y'all getting some type of thought put into it rather than it just being thrown together. And your art is amazing and your animation is amazing and all the fights have been astounding, you know. But I've seen some people just straight out be like, oh, this fight between Dawi and what's his face, Jin, whatever the kid's name is, was just so underwhelming. It was such a letdown, blah, 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 blah. And all I could tell them is, hey, well, go become a Hunter x Hunter fan, become a JoJo fan, or become a Full Metal Alchemist fan, because I can't tell you that many of them out there that went from manga to anime adaptation, and it was seamlessly a 10 out of 10 adaptation. So, but those are the only three I can say that are. I don't know what else to say aside from just that I'm enjoying it and it's doing a good job. It's reeling out the plot dump slowly, explaining things, and still I do kind of feel bamboozled because initially it seemed like it was going to be purely martial arts, but I ended up with stands. But still, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But I spoke about that in depth in last week's podcast. So moving on to the next thing. I've been playing this week a lot of GTA 5. And I've been going back through the story mode, just enjoying myself, and it really helps. Like, it helps a lot to realize. Slink Johnson, for those who don't know, with the voice of Lamar, he did the character so much good justice. He is actually, you could find him in some of the content in All Def Digital. You'll also see him on Twitter. You could just find him, and he's a great dude, hella hilarious. They make some good content. I've seen a lot of his content and I do enjoy it. And that Lamar character really brings things home. Like when it comes to Franklin and Lamar were written so well. Like it literally reminds me of me and my cousin. Like it literally, like I am so Franklin to the point where we used to get into all type of dumb shenanigans at a young age, like a bunch of stupid shit. Just because we come up with some idea or just be willing to do something, or I just be, just tag along and do it or whatever. Knowing that I would know better, but I'd still do it, And then we'll have a falling out and get to arguing after the fact. Be like, oh no, that was stupid. Yeah, you real smart, bro. And it's like, yeah, but your bitch ass ain't do. And I was like, well, yeah, my bitch ass ain't do. It's just it's the back and forward is so awful. It's exactly how brothers or cousins would be at each other's throat. The bitch of a elder that you live with that just don't want to leave you alone because she's having her own femininity, and age issues, and she's projecting it all on you because she see you young, popping and living life, and part of it is really jealousy. All of that stuff was just so real and so raw. Oh my God, the fact that Franklin had this girl that he's actually can't get over, and she wanted to get out of the hood and do better, but he's stuck in the mud because being a part of the hood is what helped him survive. So, but he trying to become better, but at the same time, the hood is trying to hold him back because they like, nah, you supposed to stay loyal to us type stuff. Oh yeah, man, been through all that. It's rough, It might not go as pretty as it does in the game, but at least it's represented in a certain way that's proper, One of the main things I have to keep educating people, especially when playing online. As soon as I speak and they find out I'm black, now if they not racist, then they'll be cool, but they'll culture appropriate and they'll just be all, oh yeah, man, or they'll start talking or acting like, oh, the hood is like the coolest thing ever. And I'm like, hell no, it's not. Nigga, being in the hood ain't shit to holler about. This is what people actually is trying to get out of. They don't want to be here. And they literally like be at each other's throats just to get out of it. So yeah. But all in all, it is what it is. That game is written so well. I'm just gotten to a segment where getting ready to do a bank heist. And during those cutscenes prior to that mission, finally, what came to a head was after they've established the character that Michael and Trevor are, they start to deconstruct each other. Because he was saying, oh, you think that you're better just because you're tired of living in the big, nice houses and whatnot, but you're still fake. I'm real. Y'all may call me crazy and psychotic, but I'm real. You know, that's what Trevor said. You know, he's like, at least I'm honest. But he turns around and he said, so you being honestly and openly an asshole is what makes you more morally just than the next person? Oh, well, look at you being so much better than thou, you know, and he just, you know, popped his top and just started letting everybody have it, you know, and that's when Michael finally just stopped being so curt or, you know, just sarcastic and just straight telling him what he, you know, means and what he thinks, and started calling people assholes and dickheads and cunts. And I was like, oh, and then suddenly Trevor's like, there you go. That's the old Michael. Now you're finally back. But then on the ride to the bank, or was that from the bank? I can't recall. I think it was to the bank. Yeah. On the way to go pick up Lester, Michael turns to Trevor after Trevor's already deconstructed him. And he says, but wait a minute, look at you. The terrible music, the tattoos, the terrible hygiene, the where you live, how you live, well, you could be doing way better. He said, you know what? You are actually a hipster. He said, don't you fucking say that to me. He said, you are, in fact, a hipster. You're what the hipsters aspire to be. You, my friend, are a proto-hipster. And he just completely broke down. He just like, stop talking to me. Fuck you, Michael, and fuck everything that you're talking about, and fuck hipsters. I hate hipsters with a passion, blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, I understand, man. You know? And he was like, just shut up and don't say it again. Hey, I made my point. I'm not a sadist. Like, just had him checkmate. Like, yo, that's the best writing that I have not seen in a long time in some games. Rockstar. I need to play Red Dead Redemption. I still hadn't played it. Rockstar, dog. Damn good writing. Oh my, all those characters are A1 perfect. Even the ones that are meant to be like parodies and caricatures of real people by clearly being, you know, movie type characters like the FIB agents and whatnot, but still good ass character. Anywho, what else have I been playing this week? Yeah, been a lot of Apex, little taste of Overwatch, a lot of Rogue Company. I got a lot of multiplayer shooters, and this is a problem. And I'm still trying to well, it's not a problem because I still got time for a single player game. But I'm still trying to get this secret boss for Katana Zero, and it's straight bullshit. It's so hard, it's ridiculous, it's almost impossible. And once I finish GTA 5 story mode, I am going to dive into the Evil Within and maybe even Dandara. I might have to stream the Evil Within from the PlayStation itself. We still don't have a capture card, but we will make it happen, Captain. Won't be much worse or different from how I stream from the PC, really, because I don't have the face. I have the tools for the face cam, but I don't have it set up because my backdrop is ugly. I don't want y'all to see all this bullshit in the background, you know what I'm saying? It just be, you know, see my mug. And plus I need a different lens because I got like a wide lens. You know, I think it's a 70 millimeter. So I don't have the room to place the camera upright and safely to capture my face while I game. You know, I'd be terribly worried that somebody will come through here and knock it over, and then my $700 camera would be ruined, and I would have to go up somebody's head because they would not try to replace it. They try to cheat me and say, here you go, I'll get you a little $60 camera. That's good enough, right? No. And then I'd really have to hurt somebody. So we're not going to really go down that road. So anywho, that's what's coming up next week. Because I tried to play, another thing I tried to play this week was the Batman, the Enemy Within. I bought it back in March when it was on sale. It was like a bunch of Telltale games on sale. And I bought The Wolf Among Us, and I got all 5 episodes for the price I paid as the store agreed on. But then I did the same thing for Batman, the Enemy Within, and it only gave me 1 episode. 1 fucking episode. I'm all into the story. I'm playing it. I'm feeling it. It's super good. It's getting very entertaining. 1 episode. Wouldn't let me do nothing else. Pissed. I am royally pissed, and I'm gonna bring it back up to him. I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna see, because I need PlayStation to correct it. But yeah. So that's what that is. But I'll be starting the Enemy Within, the Evil Within, this week. We're gonna be streaming some more GTA 5, and I'll be hopefully I might stream a little bit of the Watch, a little bit of the Overwatch. I might. We'll see. No, you know what? I'm gonna start streaming some Apex. But you know the problem with me streaming Apex, the reason I don't really feel comfortable streaming Apex is because, boy, that back to the lobby loading screen shit is a lot. Like, man, most do not play as a team, and they can't aim. And if you fall off at least one time, you're down and you're dead. Turn around and I catch them all the way on the other side of the map. Or they too scared to push with me, or they too afraid to even just play the objective. Like, I just don't. I'm just sick of it. I set up yesterday, finished third place by myself, because not only would they just keep walking in and getting shot up and not playing smart, but I would also wipe full teams twice. I ended with like 6 kills and like 1,000 plus damage. I don't remember the exact numbers, but a ridiculous amount. I think I put a screenshot of it on my fucking Twitter or something. Yeah, just ridiculous, man. All around ridiculous. But what can you do? So I'm looking for a squad. If anybody knows or likes, to play the Apex, I might have to, politely grab on some coattails and ask people, hey, maybe, you let me queue up with you a few times, So, I thought there was a group of people that like to play some Apex or some Valorant or something, but they don't really vibe with it, or they don't really play it. So I just, but we'll see. We're gonna work something out. I want to bring y'all some of that Apex content, because I actually do be cracking heads and it's fun. That's one of the most fun shooters that I've played in recent years. Anywho, let's jump into the news. We're going to do this like a lightning round. It's not that much of it because, like I said, there's been a whole lot of stuff going on, but not really a lot worth of note, especially since I don't like Call of Duty. So we ain't even going to talk about that shit. Who cares? So yeah, Battletoads came out. Some people overreacting and, actually shitting on the game when they forget that Battletoads itself originally was not that much meat to the game. It was just hard because of they wanted it to be hard, and that's literally all it was hard. It was never rewarding to beat the game, and it always had cartoony toilet humor. It's the same game as it always has been, and people just don't want to accept it because they got rose-tinted glasses on. Let's move on. All right, over here at thegamer.com, very unique name for a game journalism site, but here we go. Gotham Knights is not part of the Arkham series. I touched on this a little bit last week. Gotham Knights looks like it's going to be a completely non-canon side story spinoff, maybe alternate universe things from the Batman Arkham universe, which I assumed so, and it makes a lot of sense because one of the first things that you see in the trailer is Batgirl swinging around and beating ass, and that makes no sense whatsoever. Though it would have made sense if they used Batwoman, but she's not that popular, so we would rather have Batgirl than Batwoman, so no matter what. And in order to try my best to avoid spoilers for a 10-year-old game, I'll just say that Batgirl should not be able to do those things if this were to be a continuity of the Batman Arkham universe series. But yeah, also Red Hood is in the party. You got Nightwing, Dick Grayson, and Robin, who supposedly, I'm going to assume is Damian Wayne, because Jason Todd Robin is Red Hood and Dick Grayson is Nightwing. So I'm just going to assume that that's Damian Wayne Robin. One moment. I'm going to double check my my facts because I always forget certain little tidbits. Okay, so Dick Grayson was the first one. Second one was Jason Todd, who became the Red Hood. The third, Tim Drake. So that could be Tim Drake Robin. It could be. Of course, it's not Stephanie Brown, but you have Damian Wayne. So it's between Tim Drake and Damian Wayne for the Robin in this one. But still, that was the giveaway that this was a spinoff and non-canon. Also, the fact that this is non-canon shows a lot, because the fact that he's just up and dead, doesn't really sit right. especially with a protocol. Like there would have been some type of way that he would have had a protocol to call them before his untimely demise, at least, I'm pretty sure Nightwing has a lot of things. There's even a comic, if you're all interested, very interested in, where after Bruce died, he took up the cowl and he was Batman. And it's actually pretty good, very interesting, unique take on things, and I highly recommend it. But yeah, it's just little tidbits and things that you would see in the trailers and everything that's shown so far. But moving on, I want to discuss. There's a release trailer for No Straight Roads, which was a damn cool looking game. It's like even the trailer itself would say it, and I can't put it in better words. It's like Psychonauts meets Space Channel 5 meets Jet Set Radio, and it's dope as hell. And I love the look, the aesthetic, the idea, everything. I might see about playing that. I think it's already out. Yeah, it's been out for like 6. So yeah. No Straight Roads, super damn good. If you think like it or kind of partial to it, let me know what you think on it, and if you find any new news on it, I would like. Apple can't revoke Epic Games Unreal Engine developer tools, judge rules, but Fortnite stays off the App Store for now. Over here on Polygon, basically the case is continuing, and under this lawsuit, it just states that even though the game being off the App Store is going in favor of Apple, meaning that they have the right to keep the game off of the App Store, which they do, because that was the agreement that they agreed upon once they signed up and put the game on the App Store. So that makes sense that the judge would rule in their favor on that. However, right now they're also saying that they would they're attempting to get rid of the Epic Games Unreal Engine developer tools from the App Store and Apple OS as well, which would be damaging not only games but other software and apps outside of games. And that would be unjust and a little too much, because if you go and do that, then that would mean that you're just trying to make more people against them for their choices by doing something unnecessary. The problem that you have currently is with the game and its microtransactions and the percentage that you're trying to get from V-Bucks in microtransactions. That's what the case is supposed to be centered around. So of course the judge did not rule in favor of that, so that makes sense. Of course the Unreal Engine tools, the developer tools, would stay. But that's just all. It's just another update on the lawsuit. I'll be following it as well, and it makes sense. Everything that's happening so far has been making sense. Sony offering limited PS5 pre-orders directly from its website. Right now you can go to the PlayStation website, log in with your PSN ID, and get a pre-order for the PlayStation 5. This means that you get your pre-order that will notify you with an invite letting you know that you can pre-order for your PS5 is available. That way they can keep down on poachers and scalpers who just buy a bunch of PS5s and resell them on eBay. So this is legit, and I like it, and I have signed up. So we're just waiting on the old invitation. And that's pretty much the news I wanted to cover this week. The biggest things and the most important things that's been going on. Of course, it's been Gamescom, and I know I set up and tried my best to sit through Gamescom, but after so many advertisements, bad jokes, and somewhat only okay sometimes out of 5 commentary, I couldn't do it anymore. So I just read up on the and looked at the trailers on summarization on it. And let's just say the indie game developers are shining real bright. It's doing pretty good. It's cool. Yeah, there's that happened. So we're coming up on another episode end, and I just want to let y'all know, hey, if you got any type of friends, content creators, or people who you hold near and dear or just respect, in general, of a person of color, it don't have to be African American, or whatever, Brazilian American, all these other, different things, however you want to slice it. People of color that you respect, let them know that you're there for them, or at least just say, hey, how you doing? Check on them. As as one other streamer said, it was a great idea. Check on them, because although we're doing this, we keep a good, strong front, but we might not be doing so well inside. So just check on them, okay? And yes, I'm man enough to admit that I did cry when they said that T'Challa died. So goddamn it, check on people. Make sure that they're doing okay. It's a lot going on right now. 2020 has just been more and more stuff piled on top of them. You never know when somebody's gonna break. All right. So to keep from ending this on a sad note, I can't wait to shoot some shit in The Evil Within, boy. I've been waiting on that game. I've never played that game, but I've been waiting to play it. One of Shinji Mikami's newest titles, and I've been a fan of the man since his Resident Evil days, even all the way down to Vanquish. So I can't wait to play it. And I do also have the sequel all ready to go. We'll fire that up after. So, hey, here we go. All right, everybody, and always remember the channel motto: intentions are the most important. Actions ain't nothing but loud, and words don't mean a damn thing. And also, don't forget to give it a like or a comment. Tell me something, give me some feedback. Let me know what y'all want so I can give you more of what you want. I got a lot of ideas of some content, but I just don't know what to execute because I'm not really sure what you guys would like. So we're just going to have to just experiment and see and just throw it out there. And if you like, subscribe, let somebody else know about the channel, bring some more people in. And also, remember that I love y'all. Peace.